From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Carl Konevsky.
Among Delaware's top stories for Friday, December 8th, smoke and flames could be seen for miles as a former manufacturing plant burns in Wilmington. Delaware Taco Bell stores close their doors as an E. coli outbreak comes to the first state, and the next Attorney General looks to the past to move to the future. Here are the details. A former Wilmington manufacturing company in the 200 block of East 30th Street is destroyed in a major fire. WDEL's Curtis Gray reports.
Smoke and flames from the fire could be seen for miles around the Wilmington community. This four-alarm fire at the former Speakman Manufacturing Company, which began shortly after 2 p.m. on Thursday, burned for several hours before it was contained. Dozens of firefighters from neighboring companies assisted Wilmington firefighters. There were no injuries, but some residents were evacuated.
We've had to evacuate the homes down around 35th Street, down by Station 3 down there at Northeast Boulevard. We've had a lot of embers burning. We've had a lot of small exposure fires that have been put out by the assisting companies.
Tiburcio Torres was among those evacuated from Riverview Apartments.
The cable went out, and I looked out the window, and there was fire everywhere coming from this side and that side. Then the wall fell down, and they came and they started telling everybody to evacuate.
The wind swirling around East 30th Street made it particularly difficult and dangerous for Wilmington firefighters as they attempted to put out this fire at the former Speakman manufacturing plant on East 30th Street, hoping they would all go home safely at the end of the day. Reporting from Wilmington, I'm Curtis Gray, 1150 AM, WDEL.
State health officials say 2 Delaware residents have been treated in the outbreak of E. coli tied to Taco Bell. WDEL's Chris Carl has the story.
14 Taco Bells in Delaware will be closed until they've gotten a clean bill of health.
They have agreed to close down today and undergo a sanitation process, as well as discarding of any foods that may have been delivered from the supplier in question.
This after a 22-year-old from Wilmington got sick after eating at a Taco Bell on Kirkwood Highway. In addition, a 15-year-old from Ellesmere was in the hospital for 5 days after eating at a Taco Bell in Union County, New Jersey. Rivera says they haven't confirmed that green onions are the source of the contamination as a regional investigation, including the Centers for Disease Control, continues. Chris Carl, 1150 AM, WDEL.
The Attorney General-elect, Democrat Beau Biden, has chosen Republican former Attorney General and retired Judge Richard Gebline to be his chief deputy.
Judge Gebline served as Attorney General from 1979 to 1983, after which he served as a Superior Court judge. He is currently serving as an international judge in Sarajevo, Bosnia, hearing war crimes cases as well as organized crime cases. He's in fact deliberating on his final case as we speak.
Gebline resigned from the bench last year to accept the international appointment. Biden says he's honored to have the judge at his side, and Gebline says he's honored to accept the post. Wilmington police have 2 suspects in custody in last Sunday's murder in Browntown. Police say 24-year-old Troy Dixon turned himself in shortly before 9:30 last night, and 20-year-old Joseph Thomas did the same about a half hour later. The 2 were booked for first-degree murder, weapons offenses, and conspiracy for allegedly killing 20-year-old Marlon Johnson of Newark, whose body was found slumped over the steering wheel of an SUV parked on Coleman Street Sunday morning. Johnson's murder was the 22nd in the city this year. Were casino owners just blowing smoke, saying Delaware's smoking ban would hurt their business? WDEL News continues in a moment.
You could spend your money at the gas pump, or you could spend it on those sexy pumps at your favorite store. Let DART do the driving. Travel smart. Choose DART.
State officials mourn the loss of another Delawarean killed in the War on Terror. 26-year-old Army Sergeant Keith Fiscus just signed up for a second tour in August. Now Major General Frank Vavala, Adjutant General of the Delaware National Guard, says Delaware's military sends its heart out to Fiscus's family.
We'll keep them in our thoughts and prayers and be there to support them, but every death is tragic, and certainly when we lose one of our own in Delaware, it's devastating to all of us who wear the uniform.
I extend my sincere sympathy to the family. Each one of our people who are serving stand in harm's way, and we keep them all in our prayers.
Fiscus, killed when a roadside bomb struck his vehicle in Baghdad, becomes the 14th Delawarean to die in the fighting. On the anniversary of the day Delaware ratified the Constitution, the state takes steps to care for those who fought for our freedom. The date December 7th marks the cornerstone of the newly dedicated Delaware Veterans Home, a 150-bed facility in Milford. Just 16 months after its groundbreaking, the building is complete and ready to offer a full range of long-term care services to the state's veterans. Gary Morris, chair of the state's Veterans Affairs Commission, says though years of work have gone into the home's creation, Thursday's dedication doesn't mark the finish line.
It means that we have a beginning, and we know that we're going to have move into the future, probably to expand or even to have another veterans home.
Many young soldiers are coming back with brain injuries and severe injuries that are going to need long-term care. And this will be a facility in Delaware for they and their families to come and to visit with them. And it's a first-class place.
In addition to providing services to the state's veterans, the home will provide 200 new jobs to Delawareans. A new study shows the state's indoor ban on smoking may not be costing the state's casinos much business. The University of Nevada study shows about 20% of gamblers smoke. That's roughly the same percentage of smokers among other segments of the population. So the study's author says Delaware's casinos didn't lose big when smoking was banned. And the author says industry claims that as many as 7 out of 10 gamblers smoke is unrealistic. Dover Downs casino manager Ed Suter says Dover Downs is marketed as a non-smoking casino and finds that many customers enjoy it. He says revenues did drop the first year of the ban, but bounced back the next year. If you're about to pick up your Christmas tree, heed some helpful advice from the State Department of Agriculture and AAA Mid-Atlantic. WDEL's Frank Gerace has the details.
DDA recommends bending one of the tree's needles to check for freshness. The tree is fresh if the needle doesn't break but springs back. Another freshness test involves bumping the base of the tree on the ground. Bumping shouldn't cause needles to fall off, and the base should be moist and full of sap. If you're putting your tree on top of your car to get it home, AAA advises putting a blanket on the car first to protect its finish and putting a net on your tree to protect its branches. Before setting the tree in its stand, cut an inch or two off the base to allow the tree to more easily take up water, and check your tree stand's water level 2 hours after setting it up and once a day after that to be sure the water is above the bottom of the trunk. When you decorate, be sure your ornaments are flame retardant. Frank Gerace, 1150 AM, WDEL.
Well, WDEL asked and you responded. WDEL's first annual Feed a Friend food drive raised 601 cases, or more than 14,000 cans of food. The food will be donated to 4 local Food Bank of Delaware agencies: the Newark Area Welfare Committee, Emmanuel Dining Room, St. Paul's Catholic Church Outreach Center, and the Sunday Breakfast Mission. Coming up, Wesley College faces some familiar faces in tomorrow's Division III semifinal playoff game. WDEL Sports and AccuWeather are next.
Looking to gain an edge in the technology or design field? Wilmington College's Division of Information Technology and Advanced Communications offers state-of-the-art facilities equipped with the latest tools. Achieve balance, achieve success.
In WDEL Sports, Wesley College looks for a measure of revenge tomorrow when they take on Wisconsin Whitewater in the Division III semifinals. It's a rematch of last year's game where the Warhawks routed Wesley to advance to the Division III title game. Both teams come into the game with 13-0 records. Wesley has never reached the championship game of the Division III tournament. If they win tomorrow, they'll go to Salem, Virginia for the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl next Saturday, where they'll play the winner of tomorrow's Mount Union-St. John Fisher matchup. You can hear the Wesley-Wisconsin Whitewater showdown on WDEL starting at 12:30 with pregame coverage. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. The Flyers hit the road to take on the New Jersey Devils tonight. The Flyers lost to the Devils last Saturday 4-3 and now have an 8-15 record. The Devils are 15-9. The 76ers try to shake off Wednesday's loss to the Bulls when they host the Wizards tonight. The Sixers absorbed a 121-94 blowout in Chicago, dropping them to 5-12. And the Eagles start the first game of a 3-game road trip against NFC East opponents Sunday when they take on the Washington Redskins. The Eagles are tied with 3 other teams at 6-6 for the NFC wildcard lead. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock on Sunday. You can hear the Eagles and the Redskins on WDEL, starting with pregame coverage at noon. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast. Sun and clouds today. It'll be windy, too, with a high of 35. Tonight, clear and cold, low down to 16 degrees. Tomorrow, sun and clouds, high of 42. Then on Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 52 degrees. Get news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 1150 AM WDEL or anytime right here at WDEL.com, including news video from Delaware and around the world from WDEL and the Associated Press. I'm Carl Konevsky in for Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.